All right, hey guys, what's up? It is the Tuesday night call for August the 4th, 2015. I have Alicia here. You can kind of see her. We're going to use the whiteboard tonight and get some. I'm going to go over some stuff talking about different ways of earning money, commission, volume bonuses, that kind of stuff. Since we're real, especially for those of you that are in the Coach Basis group, you need to understand this stuff. And then there's those of you in general that are working your business need to understand it as well. And it's a good refresher course for those that maybe need to understand it better. And we're going to talk about placement and all that kind of stuff. Before we get to that, it was funny because I just happened to stumble upon one of Craig Holliday, who's now on Periscope, which I'm glad to see that he's on Periscope. And he's gotten back into mentoring again. And I just happened to get a notification pop up this afternoon that he was doing a Periscope. So I jumped on it. And the next thing I know, I saw Adrian jump on it. And Adrian and I were in there together. And there was only like 12 of us in there. And it was just amazing to listen to him because those of you in the Coach Basics group, it really fed off of what we talked about last night when it talks about understanding your goals and your dreams, and that as your belief grows in this business, your goals and dreams will grow with the belief. And it was just interesting to hear him talk about the leadership skills of being a leader, and that if you are a weak leader, you'll have a weak team, and that if you're not constantly changing and growing, your team and your leadership skills are not going to grow, and your team is basically going to stay stagnant, which really spoke volumes to me, because that's basically what we came to the conclusion about when we left Summit. And he told something that I've heard him say in the past that I liked. And so I just wanted to give you this little scenario about your business to think about. He said, he reminded me of it today, is that if you look at your life, you can apply it to your life, you can apply it to your business, you can apply it to whatever. But if you look at your situation as a spiral staircase, and you're standing on that spiral staircase, and you only have two options, is to take a step forward or take a step back. But you cannot stay there where you are, because that platform is constantly diminishing and getting smaller. So it's going to that situation is going to force you to where you cannot stay where you are. And you're either going to take a step forward or take a step back. And we have definitely taken a step back in the last 12 months. And now we finally realized that, and we pulled our heads out of our butts, and we've taken a step forward. And that's why I'm so glad to see. And when he said, a weak leader is going to have a weak team, that hit me up, to use a Dane Johnson term, that hit me upside the head like a bat, because it basically validated everything I realized coming out of Summit, is that we had let our team get weak because we became weak as leaders, and we needed to get back into the game. So I'm so excited to see the energy picking back up, the coaches getting more engaged, old coaches, new coaches, everybody's involved, and I love it, and it's just amazing. So last night on the Coach Basis call, for those of you that weren't on it, we talked about signing coaches and presenting the business to somebody. And so Bart and Courtney had asked me, or texted me today, and asked if I would be willing to role play with somebody to show how we would present the business. And I might need you to help me with this. So can you jump in here with me? So I want to see, basically, when it comes to presenting the business, there's two situations you're going to come into. It's either going to be a customer that you've already built a relationship with, that you know really, really well, and you just say, hey, I think you'd be a really good coach because of the fact that I've watched you in these challenge groups, and I've watched how much you love these programs and love what it is that we do. Have you ever thought about coaching? That's the easiest way to present it to one of your customers that you have a relationship with. And then if they say that they're interested, your options are to put them in a What Is Coaching group, or to have a conversation with them, which is what I think Bart wants us to talk about, which is what that conversation looks like. It's messing with me when you're doing that.
Just don't worry about it.
I know, but I want to see. It messes with me when you're flipping around. So I think what Bart wants us to talk about is what that conversation looks like. So the way Craig always told us to work the business, and the way Dane Johnson kind of talks about it, but I'm going to go with Craig's model, is that if you're having a conversation with somebody, and he mentioned it today in his Periscope, he was talking about sitting down with a new person in a particular business, and he was like, what is your biggest dream right now? Like what is the dream that you're holding on to that you either think you can achieve or that you want to achieve, you just don't know how you're going to do it. And in this particular example, he talked about the guy wanted some kind of a fireplace poker set, which is like maybe $100 or less. And Craig was like, what are you like, that's it? Like, that's your biggest dream is a fireplace poker set? Like, come on, man, you can't think of anything bigger than that, which goes back to what I said a minute ago. And he said, you have to realize that some people don't have a belief to have a dream big enough yet, and that's the starting point for them. So you help them achieve that small dream, and then you can always expand on it from there and let that dream grow. So, for example, if it was – I'll tell you a good example. There was a lady the lady lives across the street from us. When we were doing these business presentations, we sat down with her, and we were just having a conversation with her, and I was just like, tell me what one of your biggest dreams is. Like, what's one of the biggest dreams you have of something you want to do? And she was like, I want to take my mom to Paris. Do you remember this conversation?
Sister to Europe.
Or sister to Europe. Yeah, you remember this conversation, so help me out. I want to take help me out with what she said.
That's it.
I thought it was mom to Paris.
No, sister to Europe.
Sister to Europe, mom to Paris, brother to Afghanistan, whatever it was. And she was like, okay, so what does that look like? Like, how much is that going to cost? And I think she looked into the cost of it, and she was like,
I do not remember that.
No, but I think we came up with some kind of a figure of like we guesstimated, and let's say we came up with a figure of $3,000 or $4,000. I don't know, airfare, hotel, food and travel, whatever. So let's say it's $3,000 or $4,000, and then we basically said, okay, look, here's how we can help you get to that $3,000 or $4,000 with the business that we happen to do, which happens to be about caring about people and helping them change their lives. And here's how the compensation plans laid out. Now you have two options here. I honestly do not sit there and map out what the compensation plan looks like. But if you were going to, you would be like, okay, this is me. I bring in two people. I teach them how to make $100. Then they find somebody to help them make $100. And Craig does this a lot better. I had to go back and look at my notes. And he goes through this whole thing where he talks about how you help these people make $100, and then it shows what your income would be based off of that. The problem I have with that is that not only does it look like a pyramid, but it really plays into the whole pyramid paranoia. So we have done that in the past, and to be quite honest with you, it never really fit our style, and it didn't really work, and it wasn't something that I could pull off genuinely or pull off in a way that didn't come across like a car salesman. So normally the way we approach it is we're like, look, if you need to make $500 a month, we could help you probably do that within 6 months or less. And here's how we're going to do it. We're going to help you figure out we're going to teach you how to approach people. We're going to teach you how to start challenge groups or test groups. We're going to let you be a part of us and shadow what we do. We're going to show you how to do it. Then we're going to watch you do it and hold your hand while you learn it. And then we're going to set you free, and you're going to be rocking and rolling. Same thing I talked about in the Coach Basics. I do it, you watch. You do it, I watch. You do it. That's the philosophy. So what you're telling them is, I'm not going to just sign you up as a coach and push you down the hill on the bike with no training wheels. I'm going to put you on the bike with training wheels. I'm going to show you how to ride the bike. Then I'm going to walk beside you and hold the bike. And then I'm going to let you go, and you're going to understand how to keep your balance, and you're going to be rocking and rolling. So you just have to understand that you have to give them a time frame of what you feel like realistically you can help them achieve in what period of time based off of your knowledge and the way you lead your team. Now, you may grow your coach. You may be one of these coaches whose team grows a little bit slower because you're a part-time coach and you don't have the time to dedicate to it that maybe we do. So maybe it's going to take you 6 months to help a coach get to $300 or $400. Whereas if I was going to say I could probably try to get a coach to $300 or $400 a month, or in maybe 2 to 3 months or less. And quite honestly, now that I'm thinking as I'm hearing myself say that, there's really no reason why you couldn't do the same thing just by plugging them into our system, into things like the Coach Basis group. So whether you're full-time or part-time, shouldn't really have an effect on how long it takes you to help that coach, because if you're being supported by us, if you're plugging them into Coach Basis groups, then they're going to learn at the same speed as anybody else. So it really has nothing to do with the number of hours you put in. It's just making sure that they're plugged into the training. So then scratch that first part, because as I heard myself say it, it didn't make sense. It didn't add up. So basically just come up with a time frame and know the figure. And you have to paint the picture. You have to paint the picture of belief that shows them that you're going to get them from point A to point B. And as much as I know Bart wants me to role play this, I can't really role play it because it's hard to fake it. Like even if I did it with somebody like Brian Bear, who's on this call, who I don't really know that well because he's a new coach, even if I tried to do that with him, the fact that I've had conversations with him in the past, it would be hard to be genuine because I know some things about him that would affect it that wouldn't be as natural as if I had just talked to him for the first time. I do remember, I will use him as an example. Brian was somebody that reached out to us that somehow found our YouTube channel, which is an unlisted kind of non-published YouTube channel where we do all the coach calls. And he had already watched all the coach calls. He'd already seen us. He'd watched us train you guys. And he was like, yeah, I watched you calling this, and I watched you calling that, and I watched you calling this. And I'm like, damn, like this, like, I don't know there's nothing I can say to that. Like,
I was like, why are these being posted?
Yeah, I'm like, well, everybody posts their, I'm not worried about that.
I meant like publicly, I guess.
Yeah, that's where your trust issues come in.
Well.
So.
Todd. Todd.
Yeah.
So, like, the example you're talking about, the woman that wants $3,000, how would you approach that? And, like, what do you do for a new, like, I don't necessarily feel like I know what a new coach can, or, like, what a coach can make, depending on if they tell me they want $3,000 or $10,000 or whatever. You know, I don't know how to paint that picture.
So, Start out small. Go ahead, take this one.
No, I was just going to say, like, if they start off going, yeah, I need $10,000 a week, then that might be okay. It might be a while before we get there. So let's start out, you know, what's a realistic number for you? And for right now, I would just figure out how many challenge packs they would need to sell in a week, or how many bags of Shakeology, just to kind of paint that picture. Obviously, if they go Emerald, then they're going to be getting cycle bonuses, so it'll make that a little bit easier. You know, a lot of people starting out are just happy just to get their product paid for and make an extra $100 a week or an extra $200 a week. Like, that's a car payment to some people. That's part of a mortgage payment to some people. That's extra money paying bills to some people. So I guess finding out what that number is and what that would do for them. Like if they say, well, my car payment's $550, I would like to be able to make my car payment with this money. Then all right. So the challenge pack, you make whatever commission off of the lowest one, worst case scenario, or you could just use, middle of the range.
If your name's Tim Hunt, Lauren Rivera, or anybody else that's on that Facebook message thread, stop doing what you're doing and get on the call, or pay attention, because my phone's going off and it's driving me crazy. I love you, mean it, but get on the call and stop Facebook messaging. Do it after we get off. What I would tell you is this:
does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah, I think what I tried to make the point of last night, and that some of you, I don't know if you're really understanding this, is that presenting the business to somebody is no different than presenting a test group or a challenge pack. It's the same exact thing. The fitness goal is no different than the dream that you're trying to help them achieve. But you have to understand that the dream has to start off small. You can't come barreling in there with 6 figures in 24 months and expect them to buy into it, because they don't have the belief system yet to understand that they actually internally have what it takes for themselves to become a 6-figure earner in 24 months. So you have to ask them, what is a need in your life? And I would be writing this down. This is the question that you ask. What is a need in your life right now that I could help you fill, and give me a dollar figure that attaches to that? Is it credit? Is it a credit card payment? Is it a car payment? Is it a college payment for if their kid just went to college? Is it saving for student loans? One of the people out of the What Is Coaching group is talking about student loans and said their student loan payment's $500. Ask them point blank, what is the first thing that if you signed up as a coach in this business with me that I could help you pay? And just put point blank, what is one small item that we can attack? What's one thing that I can do for you right out the gate? Now, understand the very first thing you've got to achieve is helping them pay for their Shakeology and helping them break even. If my phone goes off one more time, I'm literally going to snap. John Monroe, Tim Hunt, please. If you've got to get their Shakeology paid for so that they're at least breaking even, and they can start to build that confidence and belief in themselves. So you let them know, my first goal is I want you in Shakeology so you can be a proof of the product works. I want you to have a story for Shakeology. I want to help you get that $90 a month or $100 a month paid for. Then you lay it out on a piece of paper, write down first 30 to 45 days. Let's get you making at least $100 in that first 30 to 45 days. So we know that we're paying for your Shakeology. By day 60 to 90, I want to be at 200 to 300, or maybe it's 400, or maybe it's 500. And so, Carrie, what you got to look at is you got to break it down. If they need to make $500 a month, divide $500 by 4.3. That tells you how much they need to make per week. So if you take $500 and you divide it by 4.3, I know some of you math heads have probably already figured it out. That's $116 a week. So $116 a week, if you want to divide it by Shakeology, so if it's a $30 commission, that would be almost 4 bags of Shakeology. That would be 4 bags, and that would actually is 3.8 bags of Shakeology, or 4 bags. So you need to help them figure out a way of averaging at least 4 bags of Shakeology per week, or 3 to 4 challenge packs per week. An average of 3 to 4 challenge packs per week, so that you understand and they understand what the end game is. If you're not crystal clear with them and say, okay, if our goal is $500 a month to make this car payment, then we need to be averaging 2 to 3, hopefully 4 challenge packs a week, getting them in this test group, forming them and helping them understand what that takes, and saying, look, I'm going to show you how to do this, but if we can do this, we're going to have you at $500 a month. Does that make sense, Carrie?
Yeah, definitely.
So you just got to take the goal, and then you kind of got to take them and then go backwards and back them up to the starting line so that they can literally see the map being drawn out on a piece of paper.
Right. And they're not going to reach that goal in month 1. They may reach half of that goal in month 1 and reach the other half finish it in month 2. But at some point they're going to reach that goal.
Yeah. Even if you have the goal of day 60 to be making $500 a month,
right,
and you're only making $350, you're still better off than you were on day one, which was zero. So like you can't look, and this is what Craig said today about goals. If when you get to that deadline that you set and you didn't hit the goal, ask yourself, did we do everything we possibly could to reach this goal? If the answer is yes, then shut up, sit down, and create another date for the next goal. Those are his words, not mine. If you didn't do everything you could possibly do to hit that goal and help them hit that goal, then that's on you. And you still need to shut up, sit down, and set another date. Again, his words, not mine. So you people get so wrapped up in this sense of failure when they don't reach a goal that you have to understand that there's nothing you can do to change it. You're not going to go in a time machine and travel backwards and redo it. So you just got to kind of nut up, accept it, and just move forward. But you just have to make sure that you're both on the same page as to where you're going. Now, what we're kind of glazing over and not really hitting on when it comes to this business opportunity and presenting the business to somebody is a lot what we talked about last night in the Coach Basics. It's got to be sincere. It's got to be candid. You've got to be vulnerable, and you've got to be emotionally connected to this person. You've got to let go of the fear so that you can let yourself open up to these people and be able to let them see you for who you are so that they will connect with you. If you're going in there scared and uptight and wound up and worried about what you're going to say and messing it up, you're going to have this wall up, and you're not going to be real. And their BS detector is going to go off, and you're going to miss an opportunity to connect with them. But if you go in there and don't be afraid of failing, and understand that even if you screw it up, you gave it your all and you gave it your best shot, because you're going to have to do this and practice and learn. But just go in there and be like, I'm going to help this person. And somebody like Bart, who's the biggest rescuer in all the world, which is why I love him, you Pearl personalities that are these rescuers that want to do everything for everybody seem to have the biggest struggle understanding this, yet you do it for free for everybody else. But when it comes to the business, you don't do it for the business when you could genuinely help somebody and help yourself. You get caught up, and I'm not talking about Bart. I'm talking about Pearl personalities in general. For those of you that understand what I'm talking about when it comes to personality types, they're the world's worst at doing everything for everybody for free. But when it comes to helping themselves and helping other people, they forget that their time is worth money and that they have value that they bring to that relationship. And instead of it becoming a 50-50 mutual give and take, it becomes 100% take and no give back. And then they sit there and wonder why they're stuck and they're not moving forward in their other goals and dreams while these other people use them and move on. And Craig was talking about that today. You can't be a rescuer of everybody when you're presenting this business. People are either going to hear you or they're not. Some of you on this call are hearing me right now, and some of you are not. And I can't change that. Some of you listen to the recordings of these calls, and it gets through to you, and some of you it doesn't. And some of you get off these calls, and a week from now, blame me for why your business isn't working, or blame your upline for why your business isn't working because you're not listening. It's not connecting to you for whatever reason. But if it is connecting with you, then you're understanding what I'm saying right now when I say you have to put yourself out there. That is it. It's not a complicated equation or formula. It's just you being real, coming up with a list of people that you want on your team. If I ask Bart right now, how does he hire an office manager? How does he hire a dog trainer? How does he hire people for dog boys? I can promise you he'll answer that question like that. But if I ask him the question of how he's going to sign a coach, he can't give me that answer yet, or he's wanting me to give him the answer when the answer is the same answer he would give me for hiring people at Dog Boys. Does that make sense, Bart?
Yeah.
Like there is no you hiring at Dog Boys is no different than you hiring your Beachbody is Dog Boys. It's just a different animal, but it's no different. You wouldn't hire a shitty dog trainer, so don't hire a shitty coach. Like if somebody's a shitty person and you don't trust them and you think they're going to be like an a-hole, don't let them on your team. Like if they're slimy and sleazy, don't do it.
We've told people before.
Yeah, like you don't have to sign up what?
Well, I'm saying we've told people before we don't think they're a fit for our team.
Yeah. I mean, don't be afraid to say no. Like if you realized that you actually have the power, you have the amazing ability to go out there and go, I want you, I don't want you 10 feet near me. I want you, you suck, you go away, you come here. That's the power you have. But instead, what you guys do is you go out there and you're like, I'm afraid to talk to you. I'm afraid to talk to you. You would never do it. That person doesn't need the money. She doesn't really like working out. Like you make up these stories in your head. You make all the decisions for everybody in the world, including yourself, and you never give it a shot. And it drives me crazy when I watch coaches do that. And then coaches are wondering why their businesses aren't growing because you're assuming and making assumptions and you're answering everybody's questions before you've even asked them. Like you haven't even asked the questions and put it out there, but you already know all the answers. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Are you drinking Budweiser?
Huh?
Are you drinking Budweiser?
No, it's water. It's a cup.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
Bart,
makes sense.
because I love Bart and because he and I are really good friends, I felt comfortable using him as an example, but you've been texting me all afternoon. So like, does that help you at all? Or did that?
Yeah,
answer the
totally.
question?
Yeah, especially like it never really clicked about the managers and the dog trainers. The truth is Courtney hires them, but I know what I want in that person, and you're right. It's the same thing that I want in a coach.
And I think we spent a lot of years trying to talk the wrong people into joining our team
Yeah,
when we never would have hired them, or we had hired them and we wished we hadn't. You know, people that were on our team that weren't good employees that we were like, you should be a coach. And no, they shouldn't because they sucked as an employee.
Yeah.
I have two people right now that are very happy Beachbody customers, and they're new employees, and I love them, and they would be perfect for coaches because they're both so great with people and they really love Beachbody. So that's a good reason to talk to them.
Yeah, and keep in mind for all of you when you're filling out your diamond map, which is in the back office, the diamond map, and then if you're looking at like trying to build a star diamond, so you're trying to build a 2 and 5 star, I'm telling you right now, you are not going to fill that map up with solid workers in every single circle. 80% of those people are going to be wholesale coaches. 20% of them are going to be people that want to work the business. And so for those of you that feel like you have to sign up nothing but people that want to work the business and you're afraid to sign up wholesale coaches, You have to let that go, because I'm telling you, you're going to be waiting a long time if you're looking for 10 solid builders. You're going to have to understand that it's going to take wholesale coaches. I've been using this girl for an example on our coach basis call a lot, Katie, the girl that cleans our house. And like she is, her husband wants to do Body Beast now. She wants to do the performance line, the pre-workout, and the recovery.
Did you talk to her tonight?
A little bit. Why?
Because she told me she had 4 or 5 people interested in coming over and working out with her.
Did you hear that?
And I'm like, oh, so those could be 4 or 5 customers of yours.
Yeah. So like I told her last night at Fit Club, I'm like, I think we should talk about signing you up as a wholesale coach, because you're on Shakeology. Your husband wants Body Beast. You want to do the pre-workout and post-workout. And I mapped it out for her. I'm like, you'll save $30 on this. You'll save $15 on this and $15 on that. So even if you're saving a total of $60, so even when you subtract the $16 business fee or $15.95, you're still coming out ahead of the game and saving a lot of money. And it only makes sense. And I said, I want to do that to help you out. I also want to do that to help continue to build our map. So like, think about that. So yes, you may give up commission on this, but if you're one coach away from diamond, or you're one coach away from helping somebody else go diamond, which would put you at 2 and 5 star, that is an easy sacrifice to make to move to the next step.
She actually, when we were running around the track, she told me that when she posted that picture of us last night working out, she had several 4 and 5 people going, oh my gosh, where did you work out at? I want to come work out with you. And she said, I never would have thought I would have had people asking me that, like what am I doing and where do I work?
We had 10 people. No, we had 12 people tonight that we all met and worked out. Ryan was there, and we all worked out on this playground at the elementary school. And there was this really nice black lady with her son there. And Sierra and a couple of the people that were with us had their kids. And so all the kids were playing together, and this black lady walks up and she was like, so do y'all do this all the time? And we're like, yeah. And I had my Sean T shirt on, and she's like, where'd you get that agility ladder? And I'm like, oh, that came from one of Sean T's programs, Asylum. And she's like, I want to come work out with you guys. So like, that was an easy exposure. It's like doing the small things and being open to have people. If you're open enough to put it out there, and you project this positivity, and you're out there helping people are going to come to you naturally. Doesn't mean you don't still have to go get your exposures, but it makes your exposures a lot easier.
So then what did you do? Give her a business card and walk away?
No, I whipped out my phone, I pulled up my notepad, and I asked her for a name and email address. And then, and only then, after I got it, did I give her mine. So now I have her email address and her phone number, and I think I've got her.
You'll find each other on Facebook?
Yeah, and then she wants to come work out with us, so it's kind of cool. So Karen and Bart, does that help?
Yeah, that helps me a lot for sure. How'd you get how'd you organize that park workout?
I just pulled it out of my ass. I really did. I actually took a piece of paper.
Are you talking about with the people or like the
what we did?
No, like how you got those 12 people.
Oh, they were all people. Some of them were coaches and some of them were just customers of ours.
Some of them work out with us on Monday nights.
Some of them were just friends and Fit Club people. And so we were at Fit Club last night and we're like, hey, let's all go to the park. And the next thing you know, somebody was like, hey, can I bring somebody? And hey, can I bring somebody? And the next thing you know, so-and-so brought their husband, and it went from like 5 people to 12 people. So it gets a lot of attention. I mean, and plus we've gotten a lot of toys. Like we had the parachute. So we were running down the field with the parachute behind us. We were doing cone drills. We were doing ladder drill. I mean, we were having a blast. It kicked our butt.
Okay, I don't want to hear anybody either. I like when you and Ellie are getting along, but that's enough.
That's right, Lauren. Thank you. I'm glad to see you all off of Facebook.
Now,
Lauren,
I love you. All right.
Tell
them, Lauren.
go mama.
All right. So does that before I move on, Carrie and Bart, because you two were the ones that were talking to me about coaching, presenting coaching. Does that help you?
Yeah, not at all.
All right. Carrie, you good?
Yeah, that was good. Thanks.
All right. So I'm not the kind of person that's going to sit here and give you a script of exactly what to say, because every situation is different. You just kind of got to go with whatever the situation calls for.
And there's going to be some people that just are not driven at all, and you're not going to get them to do that. But then there are some people that need it really bad.
And those of you that are introverts and that are shy, I'm telling you right now, reach out to us and let us do a 3-way Zoom call with you and help you show. That's the best way I can show you, is me getting in a situation with you and a prospect, or having your sponsor do this with you. It doesn't have to be me. And just say, hey, can I set up a Zoom call with you and this prospect? And then and then you tell me about the prospect, give me a little bit of information about them, and then just watch us do it. The same thing with Craig's formula. I do it, you watch, you do it, I watch, you do it. It's as simple as that. So if you're an introvert and this doesn't come naturally to you and you need to see us actually role play it out, then let us do an actual prospect call with you. And we can do it on Zoom so that we can actually see each other and connect better.
You know, the thing from Craig today, like the reason I haven't done it is because I don't have the belief that I could pull it off. Or that
Why don't you have the belief that you can pull it off? You're one of the most caring individuals I know.
Oh, I know. Well, I'm thank you.
Tell me, Huckleberry.
It's more like he doesn't believe he deserves it.
Yeah,
Why would you not deserve it?
that's a good question. It's just, I don't know. Childhood issues, I guess. Baby steps.
Yeah, I mean, so just, it's a good thing that you bring it up, because there's a lot of coaches on here that don't have the belief that they deserve this business or that they can actually do it. And so, like, maybe you and I just need to sit down and come up with a smaller goal besides test driving Ferraris on an obstacle course that we can hit sooner, and then move on to that. Like, for those of you that don't know, me and Bart's dream is for him to go 2-star diamond and us to go somewhere in the U.S. where they have these Ferraris that you drive on this test course and you pay big bucks to do it. That's our dream, to do that. But what I'm hearing is that dream's too big to wrap our minds around right now, and we need to start off with something smaller.
You need the go-kart track.
No.
Yeah, we need to start off with you and Courtney both go diamond. We go to a go-kart track in Austin.
Yeah, no.
Then you go 1-star. We go knocking mailboxes with baseball bats
Okay.
There you go.
out the back of a pickup truck. Then, we'll work our way up from
To the
redneck
Ferrari.
to Ferrari.
Yeah, okay. No, we did that last weekend.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little. Go ahead.
Moving on.
Right now might not be the time, but like just thinking about maybe we could sometime like throw objections at you, because I think it's good to hear like how you, just like the words you use and how you say it, like kind of like role playing in a way, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's spend 30 seconds real quick. If anybody's got them, rattle them off. If not, we'll move on. What's an objection that you hear?
So like one that I hear is, I don't want to sell to people.
I used to get that one a lot too.
You're talking about someone you're talking about someone that
When you're talking about a coach prospect and they're like, I don't want to sell to people, I don't want to be salesy. Honest to God, this is my first answer when they say that. I'm like, good, because that's not what I want you to do. This isn't, this is sales,
but this is a relationship.
but this is a relationship business. So it's not about being salesy. And if you were and I tell them, I'm like, good, because if you are salesy, you're not going to be successful. And I tell them that. And I basically say, look, we will teach you how to build relationships with people so that you're not feeling like you're being a car salesman. Because if you're feeling like you're a car salesman, then I'm not doing my job and you're not being successful, and it's probably not going to be a good fit. So it's a good thing that I don't want you to be that way.
Okay, what about I don't want to bother my friends?
It's one of those situations where I would ask them, are we talking about somebody that's had a transformation as a customer of yours, or this is somebody you're just approaching?
It's like somebody I know, but that's like probably like already kind of fit, but is into the stuff.
I would ask them if anybody's ever come up to them and asked them about working out or what it is that they do to get in shape. And if they say yes, then I'd be like, then there's proof right there that there's people in your circle and friends of yours that actually need your help and want you to help them. So it's not about hassling your friends. It's about looking at your circle of friends and going, who really needs my help and how could I help them? And then it's presenting them, building that relationship and presenting them with an opportunity to possibly change their lives if they want to. We're not going to go into, and I've told this to people before. My job in helping you become a coach is not to make you lose friendships. Like, we're not going to come in there guns blazing and all of a sudden you're sitting in the corner by yourself. So my goal is to help you, to teach you how to do this so that you don't alienate yourself like every other marketing company out there where they just blast it on Facebook.
Hey, can I add something?
Sure.
One thing Monica told me one time, like when she was wanting me to coach, or actually I asked her, I was like, what's coaching? She immediately said, well, how do you feel now? What are your days like? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, how do you feel now that you've lost 60 pounds? I'm like, I feel great. She's like, why do you feel great? Because I have energy and, I'm doing stuff with my kids, my family, and, I'm a better boss, better husband. She just kept asking me questions of how my transformation or being in shape was for me. And then she paused and she said, why wouldn't you want to give that to somebody else? And that's resonated with me for years. And
That's pretty good, Carrie. I mean, that's pretty good to use, Carrie.
That's amazing. And I remember her doing that to me because you and I signed up about the same time. And you realize that what she was doing was connecting it to an emotional why.
I know, she's a witch.
Yeah, she's evil. She's a mind doctor.
Yeah.
It was all hypnotized. It was like David Copperfield.
Yeah.
And she made all your friends disappear. Does that help you, Carrie?
It does. But like, what about somebody that's always been thin, that doesn't have a transformation, that's maybe just, just a wholesale coach?
So so are they somebody that's using the products?
Yes.
So then you just approach it from a financial standpoint. You're like, hey, I know you're on Shakeology. I know you like it. I know you enjoy this. I want to help you save at least $15 a month. Are you interested?
Well, and they've got to be feeling better from Shakeology.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of do it.
I don't have a huge transformation, but I can talk about how good it feels that I work out and that what Shakeology does for me. It gives me energy. It helps me with digestion.
But I'm
that.
still meaning like the bother my friends objection.
As a wholesale coach?
Trying a wholesale coach to an actual like working coach.
I think a wholesale coach to a working coach has to happen naturally. If you sign somebody up as a wholesale coach, you just have to keep a relationship with them and keep in touch with them, and they're going to come to you if they're ready. I wouldn't spend a lot of time looking at your wholesale coaches and trying to figure out who you can convert. I would just keep finding new people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Wholesale coaches should be the easiest thing in the world to do. There's really not an emotional connection. It's all from a financial standpoint. You're trying to do them a favor. You're trying to save them money, and that's all it is.
Yeah, I feel good about signing wholesale coaches, but I have some wholesale coaches that I would love for them to be like actually on my team as workers, but
then what you say to them is this, because again, it's like what Craig says, you can't make somebody hear you. You can't make somebody want to do something they don't want to do. So you just go to them and you say, look, I've been watching you. We have an amazing relationship. I know who you are, and I know that you would be really good at this, but I can't make you want to do it. But if you ever decide you want to work this business, let me know. And then you just got to let it go. You've put the invitation out there. They know that you're open to talking to them, and then you're just gonna, because you can't turn a 4 into an ace unless they want to be that ace.
That's Jennifer Hernandez. She's lurking. She's one of our customers, and she's in all the Sean groups, and she posts every day and supports people. And I've asked her. I was like, you would be great at this. You're already doing it. And she's like, oh, I don't know.
And Jackie Stone Free, or what's that? The one chick in there, not Jackie Stone. Well, Jackie Stone Freeland's one of them, but Jan Faber. She's a customer of ours, and I said something to her a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, man, you would be an amazing coach. And she was like, I used to coach in high school. I love it. I just don't have time for it, even though I would love doing it. And I'm like, that's cool. If you ever change your mind, let me know. And I just let it go.
And she's a great coach, and Jackie's the same way.
Jackie's the same way.
Todd, can you
awesome. She posts all the time. She works from home and is on Facebook all the time. It's not her thing. She don't want to do it. It's cool.
Yeah, potential is a dangerous word. You see potential in everybody, but if they don't see it in themselves, you can't change it and make it happen.
Can you just do the time objection real quick? How would you handle that? I don't have enough time. How much time does it take?
Yeah, you sit down with them, and if you listen to that Craig audio that I posted in y'all's group, he talks about it. You sit down, everybody has 168 hours in a week. The homeless guy has 168 hours. the millionaire CEO of a company has 168 hours. You sit down with them and you say, look, let's look at your week and let's subtract every single hour that you spend. How much time do you spend sleeping? How much time do you spend in the bathroom? How much time do you spend driving back and forth to work? How much time do you spend with your family and your kids? How much time do you spend watching TV? How much time do you spend eating? How much time do you spend working out? And he says this in the audio, when you break down your hours in a week and you keep subtracting from that 168, he and nor I have ever seen a situation where you don't have at least 10 or 15 hours that are unspoken for, that they had no idea what they use them for.
That's almost like the compound effect.
Yeah.
Where you track, it tells you to set your goals and track everything, as you do it. You do that with time as well.
Busy people are the best people for this business. You just have to make them understand that they've got to have better time management skills to get more done efficiently than what they actually are doing at the time.
Yeah, and I feel like too, if somebody wants it bad enough and they're like, oh, I just don't have enough time, but yet they are posting on Facebook that they just watched, the season finale of The Bachelorette and Big Brother's coming on, and then they're watching The Walking Dead and watching all this stuff. Well, okay, give up if you really want this, cut out your TV. Like, cut out something. You got to make a sacrifice.
But you
really
can't. But honest, you're running a risk if you start asking them to make a sacrifice, because a lot of people don't want to give up Walking Dead or Big Brother or Survivor.
My point is, if they want it bad enough, they will. Like, we literally went from watching 2 hours of TV every night to watching like 2 hours of TV in a week. At least I did. Like, I made a sacrifice because I wanted it.
I'm addicted to House of Cards. Last night, I will work my ass off up until about 11:30 at night. And if I want to watch House of Cards bad enough, I just know that I'm going to watch TV until 1 or 2 in the morning and go to sleep, and then just get up and either sacrifice sleep or sacrifice something else.
Right.
So you just have to map out their hours and actually show them that out of those 168 hours, there's time that they're pissing away. Everybody pisses away time. They just don't want to admit to it, but you can't argue with it when you map it out on a piece of paper. You just have to be delicate about how you do it, because you don't want to be like, I told you, you lied. You don't want to be like that. You just have to help them understand and see it and do it in a way that doesn't make them defensive. You follow me, Carrie?
Yes, I do.
The national call on Monday, the lady talked about the 168 hours, and she really breaks it down in a very passionate call. So if you haven't heard Monday's national call, it's a good one.
Yeah, so listen to the national wake-up call.
Yeah.
All right, so let me move on to a couple of things, because I promised you guys I would cover coach placement, especially for some of you new coaches, and commission. So obviously in this business, and some of you have seen this before. Oh man, my back is stiff. Hopefully you guys can see this.
Yoga.
We're gonna do
Sorry,
this.
yoga.
So here's the retail part of your business. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
All right. So you got the retail, you got the volume bonuses, and then you have the quarterly bonuses when you rank advance. So these are the three areas in which you earn money. And in retail, you would include like Shakeology leads. You would include like customer leads, because you're hitting Success Club. So Success Club is going to bring you retail, Shakeology leads, and customer leads. Volume bonuses are going to be based off of signing coaches and helping them be successful and duplicate what you got. As you rank advance, you're going to get 2, 5, 10, 15-star diamond, which is going to give you quarterly bonuses. So this is the sweet spot right here in the business. It's right there in the middle is where you want to be living within 24 months. If you can live in that spot in 24 months, you're making a 6-figure income. So everything, obviously, retail commission is 25% unless it's a club membership, and then it's 10 or 15, I can't remember. It's sad that I can't remember that. I just quit caring because all I care about is just making retail. Volume bonuses based off of your rank goes anywhere from 12, 14, or 14, 16, 18 bucks per 300 volume points, which I'll show you in a second. Quarterly bonuses range anywhere from, I think right now, 2 stars around 900 to 1,000 bucks. 5-star is around 4,000 on a good quarter. 10-star is around 10 to 12,000 per quarter. And 15-star, I'm not sure what the last 15-star bonus was, but I think the last one that I heard was somewhere around 30,000 in a quarter, I think, for 15-star. So, and when I say the 15-star is 30-something thousand, it's a combination of 15, 10, 5, and 2. So, like if you're a 5-star coach and you make a quarterly bonus, you're getting 1,000 for 2-star, and then you're adding another 2,000 or 3,000 for the 5-star, which adds up to your 3,000 or 4,000 a quarter. 10-star is your 2, your 5, and your 10 added up together. 15-star, you get the point. Now, what's really cool is that as you start to grow your business and you have multiple business centers, which is something that we're actually getting ready to embark on, is when like Alicia goes 2-star. So then there's another $1,000 that she's bringing in as a 2-star on top of the 5-star bonus that we have. And then it's like you can start to see the compound effect to play off the book that we're reading in Coach Basics. So your sweet spot is rank advancing for quarterly bonuses, volume bonuses for bringing in coaches, and continuing to hit Success Club or challenge groups and making retail commission. So let's look at, for those of you that don't know, a real fast lesson on cycle bonuses is that each week on Wednesday night at midnight, the computer goes in and looks at your left leg and your right leg, which you can see in your computer back office all the time. So on Wednesday night, you can kind of get a feel of what your cycle bonuses are going to be after you kind of get used to this. So let's say your left leg has 1,000 volume points, or 1,000. The volume on your left leg is 1,000. Let's say the right leg is 3,000. Okay, and this is obviously somebody that's been a coach for a while. So the discouraging part about this is that as new coaches, some of you have zero volume on one or both of your legs, and you're really discouraged because you're sitting there looking at this as an example, and you're like, "Are you freaking kidding me? Like I'm never going to get there." You will. It's the compound effect. It's a penny a day. If you've read the compound effect and you hear the philosophy of a penny a day versus getting $3 million at one time, you want the penny a day. This is a penny a day. It doesn't look like much when it starts out, but it continues to grow if you continue to do the things that we're telling you to do and you continue to sign coaches in retail. This grows. So if this is the example we're using, the computer's going to go in there at midnight on Wednesday, and whichever leg has the least amount of volume is considered your weak leg. Over time, that can flip. So like if you're in it for 3 years, this leg may end up becoming your strong leg, and this leg might be your weak leg. It just depends. But most of the time, you're going to have one leg that's usually the dominant weak leg and one leg that's the dominant power leg. So it's always going to subtract 100 points from your weak leg. Can you go get her? Shut up.
Yeah, sure.
Just let her in. It's going to take 200 points from your strong leg to equal 300. So 300 points is a cycle bonus. So it's going to come in here and it's going to subtract it, and that's going to be 900, and then it's going to come in here and go 2,800. And that just equaled, if you're a diamond coach, that just equaled $18. Okay? It's going to do it again. It's going to come in there, 100, 200, leave you with 26, leave you with 8, another $18. And it's going to keep doing that until it can't do it anymore.
Until they run out of board.
I'll get it.
Until it goes to 0 or
I'm almost there.
worse.
I'm going to show you what I want to show you this though. It's worth the time of investment.
Do, 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 do.
Make it rain.
Do, 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 do.
Nice.
And then they can't see all that down there. Let's see.
All right, so if I run the numbers, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Basically, if you take your weak leg and figure out how
10 times.
how many times you can subtract 100 from it, it's 10 times. 10 times 18 is $180. So you would make $180 in cycle bonuses. You're going to end up having volume left over on this right leg. let's say I'm not going to do the math, but let's say there's 200 volume points, or let's say there's 200 volume points left over on that right leg. The left leg's at 0. That 200 points on the right leg gets carried over to the following week. So on Thursday morning when you wake up, you're going to have 200 volume points on your right leg, 0 on your left, and it starts all over again. So somebody on your left leg, let's say one of your coaches on your left leg, sells a Shakeology. All of a sudden, you got 90 volume points sitting on your left leg because one of your coaches sold a Shakeology. You don't get volume on your purchases because if this is you, and this is your team, those are your left and right legs to give you an example of how it starts to sprout out. If this is you, anything you sell, the volume travels up to infinity, to the very, 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 very top, okay? So you don't get volume for what you sell. You only make commission. You get volume based off what these people sell. So the more they sell, the more volume you're getting on your left and right leg, which is why it is so essential to not only continue to find new coaches, but it's also essential to duplicate yourself and teach them how to be successful. If you're not teaching these people how to do what it is that you do, you're never going to fill in that one circle to get to that sweet spot, which is volume bonuses. Think of it like this. Every week that you go by that you're not growing your team and you're not helping your coaches being successful, you might as well take a check, write it out for $200 or $300 and send it to me because you're leaving money on the table. And I'll take the money if you don't want it. So start writing me checks every week that you don't grow your team because you're literally leaving hundreds of dollars on the table every time this goes by. Every Thursday morning, you should be waking up going, did I get as much out of this as I could? Did I help these people be as successful as I possibly could? So let me show you the next step of this, which fills in that third circle that we showed you a second ago, which was the quarterly bonuses.
Todd,
Yeah.
you get volume on your coach's personal orders too, right?
Exactly. You get volume off their personal orders. Anything they order or anything they sell, the volume raises up to you. So let's take it to another level. So this is you. All right. If you are working on a diamond ship, you go diamond, and all of a sudden you're sitting there like Lauren Belcher, for example, and she's got let's say stars on her right leg, and star goes diamond. So now she's 1 star because she's got a diamond on one leg. Her first goal is to get to 2 star. That's your first quarterly bonus. So if star is over here diamond, then Lauren Belcher has got to be looking at her other leg and going, okay, who on that other leg opposite of star has the potential to go diamond? Who can I help grow diamond? And then you damn well better figure out who that is and reach out to them and say, I want you diamond. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to help you go diamond. Are you in? Are you willing to meet me halfway? Because if so, let's roll.
Or you just work on everybody going diamond.
Yeah, you work on everybody. But you know who your players are. You know who the people are that are ready right now. There may be other people that'll be ready that you need to work with, but you may have to get them to that point to where they have the belief they want to run. But right now, you need to find that one person that wants to run, and you help them go diamond. So once you get this person diamond, whoever that person is, now you're 2 star. What happens when you're 2 star, which by the way, when you guys go star diamond, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, there's a 5-week period that you have to hold that rank called qualifying before you officially become that diamond. So like if you're 1 or 2 star, like for example, Lauren Belcher, she's 1 star diamond because of star. Star has to hold that rank for 5 weeks.
No, Lauren has to hold that rank for 5 weeks.
So does star. Star can't fall out of diamond.
Yeah. I got you.
Star's got to stay diamond for at least 5 weeks for Lauren to officially go 1 star. And then once she hits that, she's lifetime ranked 1 star diamond. And which 1 star diamond is great because it's halfway to 2, but there's no quarterly bonus attached to it. So really 2 stars is your first objection. 1 star is just a halfway point. When you get to 2 star, you have to hold 2 star rank, or it's either 2, 5, 10, or 15, all 4 of those. you have to hold rank for 6 consecutive weeks in a quarter to receive that quarterly bonus. And I'm telling you from experience, nothing sucks worse than getting on week 4 or 5 and somebody falls out of diamond, and then you got to start all over again, and you better hope there's 6 weeks left in the quarter for you to hit it. So you have to hold that rank for 6 weeks in order to get that quarterly bonus. But when you start looking at $1,000, $4,000, $12,000, there's reason why. I mean, there's initiative there. There's a reason why you want to help keep your diamonds solid. There's also more initiative to keep building more diamonds so that you have more than you possibly need, so that you don't have to worry about it if somebody falls out. So 2-star is 1 on each leg. 3-star could be 2 and 1. 4 stars, 2 and 2. I believe 4 stars, 2 and 2. 5 stars, 3 and 2. 3 on one leg, 2 on the other. 10-star has to be 5 on one side, 5 on the other. It can't be 9 and 1. It's got to be 5 and 5. And the reason for that is because they want you to get to the understanding of building both legs. Because if you're building nothing but diamonds on this leg, then when you start looking at your volume for cycle bonuses, you're going to have this right leg that's got 30,000 volume points on it, and your left leg is going to have nothing because you're not building it. So to get to 10-star, you have to build both legs equally so that the volume is growing together, so that your cycle bonuses are growing at the same time. I'm not going to go into this part right now, but you're more than happy to research it in the back office. But there are caps.
Budweiser.
There are caps to your volume bonuses, a weekly cap based off of your rank. So I've literally seen coaches that were like 2-star diamond coaches that could have been making $2,000 and $3,000 in weekly volume bonuses based off their volume that they have in their team. But because they were 2-star, they were capped at a certain number. So they were literally leaving money on the table every week. So they have to rank advance in order to get the most out of their volume bonuses. That's why they make it 5 and 5, so that you're growing things on a steady pace and it's equal on both sides. Any questions on this so far? I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but I'm trying to get it all in because I don't want to keep you late. Everybody understand that so far?
Yes.
All right. When it comes to placement, or when it comes to your genealogy and working your placement when you're building your team, especially those of you that are new coaches, here's the way Monica taught Bart and I and some of the veteran coaches, and this is the way I'm teaching you. If this is you and you're a brand new coach, and I just signed you up, and let's say this you're on my left leg, so there's a whole bunch of people up there that you don't even see, but here you are, because all you can see is from you down. You can't see above that when you look at your genealogy in the back office. If this is my left leg and that's where you are, you and I will build this leg together. So this happens all the time. We sign up a new coach, and next thing you know, I sign up another coach that I put on my left leg, and it shows up in this person's downline, and they send me this message, and they're like, hey, I got this coach on my left leg. What do I do with it? I'm like, nothing. It's my coach. I put him on that left leg. You're just going to benefit off the volume once they start to do something, and once you go emerald, which, by the way, I should have said that. In order to get volume bonuses off of the volume on your left and right leg, you have to be an emerald coach. So what I tell people is when you're a new coach, when you sign up, this leg that you and I share is your power leg. Why is it your power leg? Because it's a leg that you and I are going to build together. This leg is going to grow faster because not only are you building it, I'm building it, and any coaches that I put down here are building it, and anybody else that's on this leg that's putting coaches on that left leg are building it. So, like, let me show you. If this is Carrie, and let's say this is Bart, we all three share that left leg. So that's me, you, Carrie. That's me, you, Carrie, and Bart all building that leg. Whatever. You get the picture. I'm putting an extra person. That's me, Carrie, Bart, and you building that leg together. You follow me. I'm too tired to figure this out in my head. I'm just trying to get through it. But
You're
that's
good.
all three of us are building this leg together, which is why that leg's going to grow faster. What I tell our new coaches and what you need to understand as a new coach, and you need to tell your new coaches, is that this is their outside leg. This is their inside leg. They are completely responsible for building that inside leg on their own. They will only receive help on this inside leg from the coaches that they put on that inside leg. Why is that? Some people are like, oh, that's not fair. How come you're not going to help me build both legs? Because if this is a binary compensation plan, which it is, and I have a left and right leg, then I have a power leg that I share with Monica, just like you have a power leg you share with me. Monica and I are building this leg together. If I sit here and try to do tit for tat, and I'm putting one here, and then I'm putting some down here, and I'm putting some down here, I'm spreading my crap all over the place. I have to keep it organized on a left and right leg. So I have a right leg that you don't even see that I'm building on my own, and then I have the left leg that you and I are building together. If I start putting coaches down here on your inside leg, I got people scattered. It's like taking a bag of marbles and just throwing them out on the floor. There's no organization to it. Plus, it gives you incentive to understand that this is your business and that the more you work this inside leg and the more you put into it, and then once you start finding the stars and the carries and the Barts of the world, they're going to start blowing up that weak leg, and it's going to start to grow. But you will never see me put a coach on that inside leg. That's all you. If you're a married couple, your spouse should be right there on the inside leg. Don't ever put your spouse on the outside leg, which is your power leg, because you're wasting an opportunity to have a major player that you have control over on that inside leg to help you build the volume on that side. You know, we've been coaching for 7 years. When I started off, I looked like this. I had nothing. I mean, it was just me and Alicia. That's all. I started off just like you. I can sit here and pull up the back office and show you the first 2 years of our paychecks, and there was a lot of zeros, and they were on the wrong side of the decimal. It was pitiful because it takes time. It's the penny a day. This over here is your penny a day. You building those coaches is your penny a day. This is me over here kind of throwing in some nickels and dimes and quarters. That's why it's going to grow faster. But this is you doing a penny a day. So over 7 years, if you look at our business center now, this weak leg has got my second and third business center. As soon as Alicia goes 2-star, I'll have her second business center. And there's all kind. My 2 legs are almost dead even. So like my weak leg, what used to be my weak leg, is almost caught up to my power leg. And when you're building the business, you're going to find yourself focusing on mainly one leg, and it's usually going to be your weak leg for the purpose of cycle bonuses. Because once you go emerald, you're going to get really frustrated when you look at your volume and you're like, shit, I got 5,000 over here and I got 100 over here. And what are you going to do? You're going to be like, I got to build that weak leg. So you put all your effort on building this weak leg. And then about 6 to 8 months later, you look at your weak leg and you got diamond, 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 and you got nothing over here. So then you switch your focus to your other leg and you start building diamonds over here, which is kind of where I'm at right now. My weak leg has got more diamond coaches than my power leg. So what did I do? I signed Chad Stage. I signed Adrian Flores. And I put them on my power leg with the intention of getting them the diamond to build that leg so that I can go to 10-star. If you're going to treat this like a business, you have to know where you're going. So you better start mapping it out. Your first map is your diamond map. How are you going to get those 8 coaches and 2 emeralds? That's the only thing you need to care about when you first sign up. How do I get 8 coaches, 4 on each side, and 1 of them being emerald? That's my diamond map. Once you get your diamond map, it's how do you get your coaches to fill out their diamond map that gets you to 2, 5, 10, 15. And keep in mind, as you grow, you still need to be signing coaches on your own while you're helping them go diamond, because like to be 2-star, you have to have, I think it's 12, or to be, I'll use 5-star because that's the one I pay attention to. To be 5-star, you have to have a minimum of 20 active coaches between both legs. They can all be on the same damn leg. That doesn't matter. But as long as you got 20 active coaches, you can be 5-star and have 19 coaches, and they won't make you 5-star. You'll lose rank. And you don't want to work your ass off to get to 5-star and then look and you're like, oh, crap, I got 12 active coaches. And 5 of them are my diamonds. Because then you're just like, you're pissing away money that you should be earning on your quarterly bonuses. So married couples, always put your spouse on the top of the inside leg. What else? Anything else I need to tell them about this? Any questions so far about this? Everybody understand the philosophy behind building the weak leg by yourself and understand why?
Todd, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So what if your spouse is not on the right leg and it's too late to do anything about it? Because he was the first person I signed, but didn't know that I needed to put him on his side. However, my mom is on the other side. Does that help?
Yeah, if it's a family member whose business center you can control, I would say go for it. You're not the only person that runs into this problem. So here's what I would tell you. Real big picture, I'm talking way down the road. There's probably going to be a time where you're going to want to put a business center over here anyway. So just focus on getting the 2-star and then sign your second business center up on your weak leg. So that you've kind of fixed the problem. Even though your husband's still over here, you still have your second business center over here. So let me actually go over that, because that was what I was going to talk about next. Once you go 2-star and you hold it, and I promise I'm not going to keep you guys long. So those of you that need to jump off, just make sure you watch the recording. Once you go 2-star, if this is your strong leg and this is your weak leg and you got your 2 diamonds, and by this time your business center is starting to look like something, once you hold that rank for 6 weeks and you officially become 2-star, the very, very day that you go 2-star, you fill out that coach application and you get that sucker faxed into Coach Relations ASAP before anything can happen and screw it up. You get that coach application faxed in, and they will immediately give you your second business center. And it's just like signing another coach. You make sure your placement's set. It's normally going to be on your weak leg, and you set the placement, you fax it in, and all of a sudden you're going to see this little thing pop up down here, and it's your second business center. Second CBC. That's why if you ever look in the back office, if you're looking at your volume or you're looking at your commissions, you'll notice it says one CBC. That's because you only have one business center. But eventually you're going to have 1 CBC, 2 CBC, blah, blah, blah. So why is the second business center so important? I'm going to do the situation that's going to piss you off, Nicole, because it's not going to be for you, but it's going to still eventually be for you. But let's say this is you, and this is your spouse, and this is why we say put them on the weak leg, Nicole. This is you, this is your spouse, this is your second business center. These 2 business centers right here are basically combined at the hip. Whatever happens here goes up here, meaning Success Club points. Any challenge packs you sell here show up here. You're never going to log into your second business center and see Success Club points, because they're always going to show up in your first business center. So I've got 3 business centers. All my points show up here. The advantage of this is you take all your when you become a spouse, most of your retail is going to go through your spouse, so that the retail commission is going into the bank account, and then the volume bonuses are going up towards you to help you cycle. The trick to this is some of you are trying to qualify for the cruise or for the trip, so you got to make sure you still hit Success Club, but then meanwhile everything else is retailed down here, so it's kind of walking a tightrope. But it's easy to tightrope to walk once you figure it out. Once you get that second business center, this doesn't even matter anymore, because this still matters, but all your focus goes here, because now you move your retail commission here. So you make the retail commission there. That goes into the bank. The volume then jumps up, hits your spouse, and hits you. So not only is it contributing to your spouse's volume bonuses if they're Emerald, but it's contributing to your volume bonuses in your first business center. So it's almost like triple dipping. You're getting the retail plus 2 other times you're getting the volume bonus for the same sale. So a Shakeology sale here is going to be $30, but it can end up being $18 here and $18 here. So it goes from being $30 to being 18 is 36, would be $66. So you've more than doubled the income or your commission off of one Shakeology sale just by being 2-star. So and just again, think about the compound effect of that. Think about when you go 5-star and you get so one of my business centers, I think my second business center went 2-star. I was able to open up my third. So let's say, and I'm not trying to just hang with me. I know I'm going fast. This is your second CBC. For every business center that goes 2-star, you get another CBC. That's the only time you get another CBC. You don't get another one when you hit 5. You don't get 2 is the magic number. So as soon as you get that second CBC, what's your first goal? Get to 2-star so you can get a third CBC. What's your goal with your spouse? Get them to 2-star so they get a second CBC. The more business centers you got, the more dipping you're doing on that one sale. Because what happens is this one goes 2-star, you open up your third CBC. Here's the beauty of this. The third CBC can be sponsored to either one of these. So when I opened up my third business center, I didn't sponsor it to my second. I sponsored it to my first because my goal is to get to 10-star. So if I want this business center to be 10-star, and oh, by the way, your CBCs count towards your star rank. So every business center that you have that you get to diamond is considered a star diamond for you. So my second CBC is a diamond, that goes towards 10. My third CBC is a diamond, it goes towards 10. It does mean, I mean, you could always sponsor it to this CBC if you wanted to, but if your goal here is 10, you're just slowing it down by sponsoring it to that business center. Does that make sense?
You kind of lost me there at the end, but I think I understand that since my spouse is on my strong leg, I should open a secondary CBC on my weak leg.
Yes. And
Okay,
then you want to get that second CBC to 2-star, and then it gets you a third business center
On the
that
weak leg.
that you can put again on the weak leg, and you sponsor it to your first CBC.
Okay, and I don't completely understand why, but that's okay for now. I think I will.
Because here's the thing, if you have a goal of getting to 10-star, your first business center is the one that's going to go to 10-star first because it's been around the longest. So when you open up your third business center, you can sponsor it to any of your business centers.
So basically, 2 of your diamonds and 10-star would be 2 of you.
Yeah,
It would
you
be
are
tied
2.
twice.
You're 2 of your diamonds going to 10.
Does that make sense? That makes more sense.
Yeah, because then I would have to get the one, if you don't put it to the top one, you have to get that middle one high before the top one gets high.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So
Which,
in other
you know,
words, for 10-star, 2 would be you, and then the other 8 would be some other people, but 2 of those would be him.
because if you do the math on this, let me show you what some people do and why I don't. This is one reason why I think it's not the way to go. If you've got one business center at 5-star, okay, you're making $4,000 a quarter off of this business center, okay? If you take your second business center and you try to get it to 5-star, so you've got 2 5-star business centers, you're only making $8,000 a quarter in quarterly bonuses. But if you make this one 10, you're making $12,000. This one over here is 2. You're making another 1,000. That's 13,000. You're making more money in quarterly bonuses by getting that one CBC to 10 instead of building this one to 5 and this one to 5 and this one to 5 and this one to 5. You'd have to have a lot of 5s to equal that 110. You follow me? That's why you sponsor that third business center to your first business center.
It's the same thing on the way to 5, right?
Say what?
It's the same thing on the way to 5, like, because that would be her potentially like maybe her 4th diamond.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So like I've got 3 business centers and they're all under the same. I mean, I've got 2 extra business centers and they're both sponsored to my first. So I'm one of my diamonds on 5. My third business center is not diamond yet, but when it goes diamond, that'll be 2 diamonds towards my 10. So you see what I'm saying?
So that will put you at 6.
Exactly. All right.
7, 'cause you're 6-star.
Yeah, it would actually make me 7. So I know that was a lot of information for you new coaches. Let all that go. Just focus on building the diamond. That was mainly for the veteran coaches and the spouses that are trying to figure out how to build this business big picture. And sometimes we have to get analytical so that those of you that work that way can sit there and wrap your mind around the numbers. And those of you that are money driven can understand where you're trying to go. And when we say that you can make 6 figures in 24 months, that's why. We just showed you. It's turning a $30 commission into a $66 commission or into a $96 commission. Because once you start getting a third CBC involved and your spouses and all that crap, you're turning one Shakeology sale into almost $100. It's the compound effect. It's the penny a day. So anyway, and that's why it is so important when we say do the things every day, make exposures, do follow-ups. That's why it's so important for you guys to sign coaches and present the business, because every month that you're not bringing coaches into your business center, you're leaving money on the table. And last time I checked, I don't like giving away money. I'm starting to understand in my older age that I've left a lot of money on the table up to this point, and it makes me mad, and I feel stupid for having done it. But I can't change the past. I can only change the future. And now that I see the map and I know where I'm going, I want to make as much money as I can to change my family's life and to reach our dreams and goals. And in the process, I'm going to help a lot of coaches reach their dreams and goals. And that's how I need you to look at this. It's nice to understand the numbers part of it and to see it mapped out, and we can talk business till the cow comes home, but it's all about the dreams and the emotions that are attached that make this happen. If you don't know what their dreams are and what they're trying to achieve, guess what? It's going to look just like this. It's going to be blank because you're not doing anything. A lot of you have blank walls. It's time to start drawing on your walls and filling the shit out like we just talked about in this call, because you're leaving money on the table. And not only are you leaving money on the table, but you're leaving people's dreams in the shadows, and you're not helping them achieve it. You're not helping them realize their potential. You're not affecting their lives. Do you think for 1 second that Monica Ward has not changed my life and changed my daughter's life? Do you think that I would be like, if I look at the last 7 years of my life and the friends that we have made and the amazing trips that we have gone on and the things and the connections that we have with so many of you, none of that would have happened if I didn't just do what I just showed you to do. So like you can look at it like, oh, it's all about money. But that money is just a byproduct of dreams and goals and relationships and connections and a lot of beautiful things that happen in your life. The money's just a byproduct. So if you have an issue with money and you feel salesy, then don't look at it like that. Look at it like dreams and hopes, because every single one of those circles were dreams and hopes and goals. It was Courtney Tucker taking her family to Disney World. It was Carrie Kravitz saving up money for a website. It was Bart and I working towards our Ferrari trip. It was Nicole Ambrose working on whatever she's working on, or Star working on her, or Lauren Belcher going 1 star. There's faces to those circles. There's dreams attached to those circles. It's your responsibility to help those people do that, and you get rewarded for it. I think that's an amazing thing. Because and this is the last thing I'm going to say. I heard Craig say it today. For every single one of you that are working a 9-to-5 job that don't own your own company, Bart and Courtney excluded, that don't own your own company, every day that you go to work, all you're doing is fulfilling that company's dream. Whoever owns that company, you're fulfilling their dreams. You're not affecting anybody else's but theirs. And I seriously doubt you're fulfilling your dreams. Because if you were, you wouldn't be sitting here on this call right now, and you wouldn't be building your own business, because obviously this business is an opportunity for you to do the dreams and goals that you need and want. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So you got an option tomorrow morning when you wake up. You either continue to build your boss's dream, or you start building your own. And you start making yours happen. And so as much as some of you may not like it, that's how you do it. So you need to wrap your mind around it and embrace this and see it for what it is, and don't see it as just money. It's dreams and goals, and that's all. That's how I'll end it. Anybody got any questions? Anybody? Once, twice?
I had one last quick question.
Sure.
Is this all like written down in the coach compensation plan?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't, just if I needed to go find it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all in the it's just like once you start, if you go in that coach training and you start looking at it, it's all in the policies and procedures. Like if you go into policies and procedures and you start looking at the different ranks, like when you go to 2-star, it shows you what your volume has to be, what your personal volume has to be, what your rank has to look like, who's got to be where, how many active coaches you need. It's all there. I don't know how much it goes in. It doesn't go into sponsoring your second and third to your first. Like they don't go into that, because that's however your team does it, but that's how most teams do it. So, all right. Yeah, well, it's a lot of information. Alicia's like, we've been long. I get it. It's an hour and 20 minutes, but it had to be, there's a lot of information. We had to go through a lot of coaching stuff at the beginning. You can break this call up and listen to the recording later. 5-6 times is probably going to, it's how many times it's going to take to get it. Love you guys. Hope you have an amazing week. For all you Coach Basics people, I will see you bright and early in the morning when you sign on, and we will talk to you guys later, and peace out.